How's everybody doing?
Good.
I guess we're going to get I guess the temperature's going to change on us, huh? That's what they're saying. I just got asked, I was talking to Tony and Jim Nance, got asked it, I don't know, I forget how they questioned it, but do you think it's good that Jacksonville's coming up here and it's going to be cold? I hope it's an advantage, but who knows? Sometimes I worry about our new guys that have only played in warm weather. And then we get a first cold game here, but we'll see how that works out. With that, I'll open it up.
Speaking of new guys, how do you feel like McDuffie did?
Yeah, I was just talking about Trent. I thought he did a really good job, Adam. You know I say this all the time, that sometimes corners don't get any recognition when they're doing exactly what you want them to do, right? They're over there pressed and the quarterback doesn't throw it there. But, you know, he had two really good plays where he was hip to hip on a 9 route. And the other thing I thought he did a really good job of, him, LJ, and Jalen all had a shot at it, is in those situations they were looking for the football. Because we know when you don't look, the yellow flag tends to come out, so that helps us a little bit. But I thought he did a nice job.
You had Josh Williams as your third guy. I know there was an injury thing with Watson as the game went on, but
yeah.
Why him instead of Watson?
Well, we had to go one way or the other, right? And the plan was to have Josh begin, and then it was in the second or third series, Jalen was going to be that guy. So there was a rotation in there, no matter what happened in the game.
I know this was last week, but when the second half and overtime, what clicked for you guys to keep them to just like one first down? What happened?
Yeah, you talking about in the second half?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, we spoke at halftime and knew that it was really 2 runs and a boot pass that it was the explosive passes that kind of led to them getting their points. And we always talk about eliminate explosive passes, and on a number of those, or on those particular 3, it was simple, fundamental, getting out of a gap, and then the pass play was simply eyes on a man, lost eyes, and he's wide open. So we just got together and said, if we just do those things better, then we can play defense better, and that's what they did. They rolled with it, kept the intensity and the attitude of playing attitude defense really good in the second half, and it turned out pretty good.
For Trent to get his first action back in since the first game of the year, is it a little bit helpful to not have someone for 68 passes or something?
Yeah,
you guys had to do? I mean, there weren't as many reps for him out there.
Yeah, it was 16 passes or something, or it was limited. I guess in some ways, but I mean, look, you got to get involved in the run too, and I thought Trent did a pretty good job of that. And we had those guys in a little bit of man, and sometimes when you're in man and that receiver's cracking or he's blocking somebody, you got to transition from man to being a run defender. And there was a couple instances where I thought Trent did a really good job of that. So there were some things, even though it wasn't all pass, that we were happy with what he did.
That was the first time you've seen Jacksonville in a while.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that quarterback and also the running back as well?
Yeah, listen, I think they knew exactly what they were doing when they kind of upgraded him to being the guy. I mean, 3 straight games over. Yeah. 3 straight games over 100. I've always thought the quarterback was really good from back in his college days. Now, I didn't see a lot of him last year, obviously. And I got a lot of respect for Doug. I think they're doing what they really feel like they need to do with the talent they have. I think the system, they're getting a feel for who they are, kind of like what I talk about all the time, right? At the beginning of the year, trying to figure out what you have and what you're going to use and what plays you're going to run. I think they've figured it out, and now they're rolling. I mean, you put the tape on, and in a lot of the games, early in the game, they're running right down the field. They did against the Giants. They did against other people, and they're putting points on the board. There's a lot of talent there. In a lot of ways, this will be a tougher test than last Sunday was. I mean, we were a little fortunate in that Ryan Tannehill didn't play, obviously, right? That's an experienced quarterback, but this group is pretty good.
Steve, it's easy for us to look at sacks as a marker of whether a guy had a good game or not, and Carlos had 1.5.
Yeah.
How would you...
No, he played solid. I mean, those are obviously key moments and big plays, and we always want our guys making big plays. They make a big difference in the game, right? That's a overstatement, right? You get interception, a fumble recovery, a sack. The play that Nick made on the screen was huge. But Carlos made those couple of big plays, and I thought he played solid in the other parts of the game that you don't really see.
He's talked to us a lot about how important getting to 100 sacks for his career is. He's at 99.5.
Yeah.
Has he relayed that to you at all? How important that is?
No, I don't.
Sense for that otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just figured that's obvious, right? I mean, I'd want to do the same, but I haven't had the conversation with him. I'm a firm believer in you let those things take care of himself, and I think he probably feels the same way. I really hope that he gets it and more. I hope he doesn't get 100 and stop there, right? But I'm happy for him, and I hope that, listen, I hope he accomplishes that in the next game.
He's a guy who's done it for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Is there something that stands out about him as a pass rusher, you feel like?
You know, his length more than anything. And I do think he's really good at what he does counter-wise. Like, he's smart enough to know what tackles take away and then where he's got to go with it next. And then, you know, I don't know what happened offensive line and on that one play, but I'm not sure I'd put a running back on Carlos Dunlap on that one. But sometimes that happens, and, you know, we got to win that play.
When it comes to Alan Saunders, who's two-prong, how important has he been to you guys? I know he's not injured, he's excused right now. Can he play if he isn't able to work for whatever reason this week?
I'm sorry?
Saunders?
Yeah. Hopefully he'll be fine. But I thought he had a real solid game. And certainly at the end, you know, he made some. And we've always felt, like we put, you know, Mike Dana goes inside on rushing downs, and we've put some ends in there, and George and whatnot. But Colin has always been one of those guys, Joe and I have talked about, that has quick enough feet where he can be an inside pass rusher for us. But I thought he did really good in the first and second down run game part of it, throughout the game.
On the quarterback for Trevor Lawrence, he hasn't had a lot of experience, but what is it about him that you like in his game at this point right now that can be a danger to you guys?
Yeah, first of all, I didn't realize he was 6'6". I mean, he's a big quarterback that when he can sit in there, like most of these big, strong-armed quarterbacks, when he's able to sit in there, he's very accurate, gets the ball where he wants to put it. You know, 17, Ingram, who was with me in New York, I think is a real good tight end route runner. I think they got a really good chemistry together, him and 13. And I just think he's operating in Doug's offense really, really good. And what I didn't know about him is how athletic he is. Like, their movement passes with him getting out of the perimeter are way more impressive than I thought they were. My recollection of Trevor Lawrence was really from college, because I'm not putting on Jacksonville tape really unless we're playing him. And I just remember him being, I didn't feel like he ever threw an incomplete pass in college. I mean, really good, and he's a runner too, right? He does his own options, so got a great deal of respect for him.
Let's close it out with Haley.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Coach, just going kind of off of what Todd said about Trevor Lawrence, I was looking at it last week. I think he only had one pass that was over 20 yards, and the rest of them were kind of within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
When you see a quarterback doing that, everyone's praising him for that amazing game, but do you challenge him to go deep in this game?
Well, it's funny because, you know, Mike Frazier gives me stats in his sheets, and one of them I do remember saying that, now I don't know if they're comparing it to a year ago, but it said, I remember it vividly saying Trevor Lawrence is taking more shots downfield. Now, I don't know if that was compared to last year, but so I'm looking at it and say, okay, this guy, and he does have a strong arm. So what we're not going to do is, we're probably not going to take for granted that that's all he does. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that we'll do will probably encourage him to throw it deep and hopefully have somebody back over there over the top. But I don't know that we'd change the plan drastically just based on that stat.
Last one.
I was just going to ask, how do you feel like the defense has stepped up? I mean, you were out Willie Gay and then Frank Clark. Just how do you feel like those guys have stepped up to kind of fill those voids?
Yeah, well, when Darius Harris went in there for Willie, I thought he did a real solid job. And we had Malik Herron went in, and Carlos and George and Mike Dana, really are the four guys that played DN last week without Frank. I think we missed some of Frank's, you know, edge speed in those passing situations, and we really want to get him back. But really pleased in what the guys have done. I think it's, you know, it's advantageous, you know, sometimes when this happens for guys to get some reps and find out what they are. We found out a lot about Darius Harris, and I think we found a lot about Malik Herring too.
Thanks,
It's helped us.
everyone.
Okay, you got it.